What up, good people? Welcome back to the Life with the Corrys podcast. My name is Darius.
I'm Cicely. I'm his wife.
We are the Corrys, if you didn't gather that already. And happy belated Christmas.
Is that a thing? You say like belated Christmas?
You know what I'm saying? It's never too late to.
Isn't it like a holiday after Christmas that nobody talks about, like harmony or
That is a great question.
epiphany?
Like after the 25th?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's like a Jesus thing.
Listen, Merry Christmas. We don't have to celebrate Christmas, the birth of Christ on the 25th. That ain't his birthday anyway.
That ain't his birthday
We can talk about
anyway.
that another time.
Yeah, for sure.
Happy belated New Year as well. Also, in addition to.
Well, I don't know. You know, we ain't really calculate how we gonna do these. So
By the time you see this, I feel like it'll
happy
be New
all the
Year.
things.
Mm-hmm.
Happy New Year, Merry Christmas.
Hope
happy
you got them resolutions straight. You know what I mean?
Happy birthday.
You ain't got to have a resolution. If you ain't got one, some people don't put it down like a book that they stop reading.
I'm not making resolutions.
Just always be in progress.
All right, what we talking about today? Oh, wait. No. This is only our second episode, so I'm still trying to figure out.
Working out the kinks.
You're supposed to be asking me. What do you ask me?
How is life treating you? I guess I wasn't sure. How's life treating you?
That's it. How's life treating me?
Mm-hmm.
Life is treating me good.
Mm-hmm. How?
You know what I'm about to say?
No.
Because I got accepted into seminary.
Right, you did.
That is true. You still owe me a steak dinner.
I owe you more than that.
And okay, I knew you were gonna go there, and I lobbed it at you, and you caught it.
And you going okay?
Okay, all right.
You set it up.
All right.
But yes, my wife got accepted into seminary school. What's the name of the school, boo?
Gordon Conwell. So I'll be going to Gordon Conwell starting in the spring. I really haven't decided if I'm going to take classes in the spring or if I'm just going to wait until the fall.
Okay.
Either way, I'm really excited, but I'm also very much nervous. So I think life has been treating me well with new adventures.
Okay.
But also like stepping out and, doing something new is kind of nerve-wracking.
I used to say it's like anxious, but not in a bad anxious. It's like a good anxious.
Yeah, I mean, and I think because I'm going for my Master of Arts in theology. I already have a master's degree in journalism, which is my, what I do, my skill, trade, whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. But here lately, I've sort of felt like this nudge or this call to like do more and learn more about scripture because I want to be a legit Bible teacher. And like people who know me, say that I teach the Bible well, and I think that I do, but I just want to, I think it's sort of my nod to God saying like, I'm all in on this. Mm-hmm. And so seminary is the way that I'm going to do that to like refine. And also like, I don't know, I'm actually really into like Bible history and, I'm going to be speaking Hebrew and Greek around the house.
Around the house.
I
think it also. That doesn't sound like either one of them. It doesn't. You might have been offended. You might have offended a Greek.
I may have. I don't even know. So I'm sorry if I did.
But no, I think that's. Of course, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
It's not intimidating at all that you will be going back to school for your master's. No, but I am happy to know that. I think for both of us, apologetics is something that we constantly come back to as far as defending our faith. We can't defend it without really knowing it.
Yeah.
And I think this is an opportunity for you to delve deeper into the history and what it is to be reading, how to understand it.
Yeah.
Because, again, you want to know what you would be teaching beyond your own strength and will to understand the Bible that we read and corresponding books or doctrine that is around it. So, yeah, this is a great venture.
Even beyond that, though, like, I want people to, I don't know, I just feel like, I feel like I said this in the last episode too. I feel like Christians just really get a bad rap, or maybe I've just been saying that to people as I'm like talking about the podcast and what we're trying to do. Mm-hmm. And, I want to be able to teach scripture in a way that is relatable, but still like challenging.
Yeah.
And I that's the only way that I really know how to explain it. Anyway, life is treating me well because I'm going to seminary. So
that is what's up.
Yeah. How's life treating you?
I'm proud of you. Life is treating me good as well. I know that's
We
very
need like
typical.
a emotions
Yeah,
wheel.
we need to learn more words to go
We
around.
got the
It's
words,
a generalized, it's always like those, you go, how we doing? And it's like those five smiley faces.
I'm gonna bring my emotions wheel the next episode.
Okay.
I'm
It's
gonna
going to
pull
be
it
on a
out.
spin thing. How does that work?
I mean, you just don't worry about it. Go ahead.
True, because I don't know what they look like.
Yeah.
But like life is good. I think I talked about this before. I am somewhat of an not uncomfortable place, but I feel like I am in a place where I don't feel comfortable being complacent. Life around me slash us has me where I feel like I need to be moving forward, onward and upward. Because where we are is just enough, and that's not the type of household that we are. And individually, I just feel like I could be doing more in so many areas. So I'm excited to really start stepping into it. I know that we've had several conversations about what that looks like, and I can feel those juices reactivating in my brain head. I lost words, but yeah, I'm getting re-excited or revitalized about me doing more as a brand in my own identity and as a father, as a companion to this house. Just a lot. So
Yeah.
I'm just ready to jump into that, and not because we're going into a new year, but just in general.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask you a question. This might end up taking up more time than we wanted to, but it's fine.
Yeah.
So we've been talking a lot about finances and about like how much I work, how much you work. This is kind of a hypothetical, but also something that I've been thinking about. Like, if our household income. If I made our household income, would you? And I said that I was okay with you quitting your job and just freelancing full time. How would you feel about that?
I think honestly, there would be some, I don't want to say insecure, but I would feel like your child. It's like essentially, how we want to say we want to make sure that our kids have a want for nothing.
Yeah.
They, whatever we want, we get. They can live freely without a fine. And I feel like I'll be in that bucket of I'm letting him live freely. Now, I will say that without a shadow of a doubt, without the pressure of monetary income being so much of an issue, if that wasn't so much of a pressure, I think I would be able to be more fearless about pursuing things. I would be experimental in my art. I would just do what I want, as opposed to, hey, I need to do something that's actually going to attract and therefore, potentially be monetized.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not trying to say that all my art needs to be a hustle, but I do know that at some point I want to be able to say, all right, she gave me the space, and now it's the fruits are starting to show from that labor.
Yeah, I bring that up because I think about that sometimes, because I know when we compare our careers in terms of like the potential for income,
Yeah.
I think that I have a greater potential to have a higher salary just because of the field that I'm in.
Yes.
And writing, marketing, all of that, like they can be very lucrative fields. And with you being an artist, like, if you don't have the room to create, then that just, you can find yourself not creating at all.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I've thought about that, and like, I think more than anything, I want you to be able to have the space to create in the way that you need to, like if I were to be the only one that was bringing in a salaried income. I'm not talking about like you out here just bumming off of me, like, I
Yeah.
mean, but it's our money. But this is not supposed to be like a question of like roles and stuff like that. But I'm just sort of, because I know that I can tell that you've been like wanting to do more and wanting to like reach a new level in your career,
Yeah.
and or just reach a new level as an artist. And sometimes I think, I'm like, I could work and make what our combined household income is.
Yeah.
And I know you're not.
That wouldn't gel with me.
It wouldn't gel with you well.
And it's not even a masculine. It's not a social norm thing. It's not a.
Yeah.
I think we both want that for each other. I
True.
think
Fair
I
enough.
definitely wanted my income to give you the space to create and to be what God has for you to be without the pressures of this ain't bringing nothing in.
Yeah, I think more than anything, yeah, we want that for each other.
We want that
You're
for each
absolutely
other,
right.
and
Yeah.
for like now, I will say now, I think not historically, but naturally, with me being the head of the household, I feel like I should have my reasoning for wanting to do that for you is justified
Yeah.
versus the also us being more radicals is like, we don't care about who makes more money. There's still part of me is like, because we both want that for each other, I don't want that to be, I want you to be on that end of creating and providing.
Yeah.
And not, I want to be the provider while you being the creator. Now, I
Yeah.
want to provide creating, but if it had to be a case where, me being provider while you do what you do, absolutely, I want to be the provider. So
Yeah. Yeah.
there will also always be a side of me that I know that you genuinely advocate for me and you cheerlead for me, but I know that there's a side that you will absolutely want to be where I am in the realms of money's not a thing. I can do 3-minute study. I can do create and teal without worrying about checking the account.
Those are my businesses, by the way.
Yes. And yeah. So until that happens, I wouldn't be okay with just, today I'm just going to work on an oil painting for 12 hours
Yeah,
and just,
for
I
sure.
hope that someone buys it one day.
I would probably be annoyed by that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But me in that is the most, that is goals for me, is that I can create art and essentially someone
And-
is waiting to spend
Right.
$4,000 on it, or
Yeah.
$12,000. I speak into the atmosphere.
Yeah. Okay. Well, speaking of cheerleaders,
I don't know how to catch that segue.
I don't know how to catch that. Speaking of cheerleaders, we're talking about when life has you looking for love.
Yes.
And we're going to share a little bit about our story of us. What you just experienced right now was like a real, like we need, he didn't know I was going to ask him that, but it's just something I just wanted to get. I feel like I just get a live response. But what you just experienced is like one of the many ways that, I feel like we have sort of like this open communication where we ask and answer, and it hasn't always been that way, but at now how many years we've been married?
8 years.
At now 8 years, we sort of get better at listening and whatever.
Yeah. I think this dichotomy of us is definitely what made me grow on you. Completely transparent.
Grow on me. Say more.
Yeah. Like, so, it goes without saying that initially when we interacted, like it was, for me, it was not sparks. Let's keep it funky.
To me?
For me.
You
I
for
just-
me
I
or
wasn't
me
paying
for you?
attention.
Oh,
Me for you.
Yeah. Tell them about the first day that
I'll
the
tell
first
them.
time. How did you meet me, love of my life? How did you meet me?
Let me think about it.
When did you meet me?
I met you. The earliest memory of you was at our current. We were visiting. We weren't members of this church. I was. She was not. There was an event that we had. It was like trampoline dodgeball at Sky Zone. It might not have been Sky Zone.
It was at a
It was some
trampoline park.
equivalent.
Yeah, whatever it is, it ain't there.
It was
no
like a
more.
singles night or a young adults night. We all played Sky Zone. She was there.
When a singles night.
Or it was young adults. I corrected
Yeah.
myself. She was there, and I was doing my thing, recording the whole event, just being so not naive, but just not aware of
Unaware.
my surroundings.
Yes.
And then I think we went to Vapiano's. I think after this event.
You're mixing.
Oh no.
So you do remember the first night we met?
Yes,
Vapiano's was the first night we met.
I walked you out of this trampoline spot because I remember you telling me your name, Cicely Tyson. You did say that at the dodgeball joint.
I did, but you did not walk me out. We just walked out at the same time.
Tomato. It's
No,
all
no,
about perspective.
No, okay.
So fast forward, then there was an event at the Harvey B. Gantt Center or the Levine Center of Arts, one of those two, and we had a mixer.
Here's the thing, right? That event came first.
Really?
That's the first time we met.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, you're right.
At the Mint
boom.
at the Mint Museum.
Mint Museum. So I got there early. I'm in the art. I go all over the exhibit before everybody gets there. Then everybody gets there. It's an event for the church. And I am prompted by, at the time, this guy named Rocky to give everyone a curated tour, just impromptu. And at the end of it, we were introduced to each other by, I believe, Rocky.
Yeah.
And it was awkward because as I went to shake your hand, someone crawled, like I couldn't see her face. And I'm just being so awkward and uncomfortable that I just shook her hand and got it over with.
Yeah.
Fast forward, we went to Vapiano's. We're sitting up there ordering, and she comes and makes small talk, which, you know, thinking back, that's a huge deal for my wife.
So he's telling you this chain of events because I have told the story. If you were to ask him,
Yeah, I had to put the pieces together.
What he remembers about that night, he has no recollection of any of those things. Meeting me trying.
I remember the handshake part. Don't take that from me. I remember shaking your hand, and now you can agree there was a point where
there was
like,
a person.
Yeah, it was awkward.
Yes, it was awkward because someone. Okay, so I am not from Charlotte. I had recently relocated to Charlotte.
We Quentin Tarantino in this story.
I don't.
You know, no, you don't know what that means. That's why you're getting offended. Tarantino means we're going out of order.
Oh, okay, cool. Mm-hmm. I thought you was all right, cool. Mm-hmm. Trying to go. Making references I don't understand now.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm a movie buff.
Yeah.
I know all the movies and directors and actors.
You're going off track now.
Okay. All right. So I recently relocated to Charlotte, and, you know, call it what you want. One of the best ways to find people and to make community is to find a church.
Yeah.
That's a firm belief I have. So I was church hopping at the time, and I didn't go to the church first. I went to a church event first. It was an outing at the museum. It was a jazz night. But I was invited to the Facebook groups back when Facebook groups were a thing. And so I had already, like, you know, I'm single. I'm relocating to the area. So are there cute guys at this church in this group? Because I'm cute. So, you know, hey, why shouldn't I look for a cute guy to sit next to, perhaps? And so I already had, you know, scoped a lay of the land, and I saw my husband on said Facebook page, and I said, "Oh, he's cute." Yeah. Okay, well, you know, he's cute, and I hope he comes, is what I said, and he was there, and I spent the whole night trying to make any form of eye contact. My man's was not having it.
Awkward, bro.
Yeah, I know. He gave a whole tour, and I'm like, this is cute. This is a whole tour of the museum. We get to Vapiano's, and he's in front of me. I'm like, oh, look at the Lord orchestrating ways for us to meet. Wow. Thank you, Jesus. You are so good to me. So I walk up to him and I say, hey, have you been here before? Yeah.
Whiffed it. Totally missed all of it.
No, just, yeah.
Gave her a smooth swim move.
And looked right at the menu again because he about to order. So could you tell me how this works? Or, like, can you help me out? Oh, I really don't know how this works.
Bye.
But I think you order over here and then you pick up your pizza over there. Okay, I'm up next. I'm going to go order. And I'm like, all right, cool. Tried to sit next to him.
Oh.
He got up and moved.
No, really?
You moved. It was 3 tables we were at. You moved from the table I was at to go sit with other people. I know. Wow.
Golly, that's what, bro.
Wow.
He trash.
Word. Yeah, wow is the word. And then when I left, there were other people leaving as well. We left at the same time, and we were walking in the same direction. And I was like, oh, he has to be a gentleman. He's going to say, hey, I don't know you, young lady, but I know you just came from the place that I came from. And so I'm going to walk you to your car. I'm going to walk you to, it was nighttime. It's nighttime. He didn't do those things.
This origin story is trash. I'm ready for the good parts to come up. But yeah, yes,
Can this you skip to the
there's
good
all
part?
True. I was really oblivious to my wife being there the entire time. So I can admit that.
Yeah. So I was gonna say let's talk about.
Fast forward, someone was looking for a logo. That someone was my wife. That was another attempt of her saying, all right, you know, I know he's an artist. I need a logo for my nonprofit, but this is also another opportunity for us to connect. There was some hiccups in that, sincerely. We'll skip past that whole part. But essentially, I stood her up unintentionally. Sincerely.
All the guys out there that's listening to this, and the women, the girls, like, I wouldn't have gave him another chance.
Yeah.
We'll get
She
to
gave
that
me another
though.
chance. We met at Starbucks, had a great conversation.
Yeah.
Starbucks off of
Papa
Pablo
Matthews.
Matthews. That ended up being we were on GroupMe, right? GroupMe conversing. We were texting. At the time that I first started talking to Cicely, I was living with my mother. She did not know I was living with my mother. My wife at the time had her own house. I was living with my mom. I believe I was working for a company, but I just wasn't in a
At that
place.
point, I'm trying to think. I had an apartment then.
Okay.
Yeah. I hadn't bought my house yet.
Regardless, I was living with my
But
mother.
yeah.
And I knew that at a point we were progressing conversationally to the point where I know that I could not keep that part of my life away from her. So instead of being honest, and because of where I was in life in general, not just in that particular point, I was like, I would rather keep her from that part, or push her away than have to reveal that. Which was kind of weird because to be completely transparent, I was okay with telling other women that I live with my mom, and I think it was because I didn't care how they felt about my situation, because I knew they didn't care. But for you, there was something about, yeah, there's a risk in me being transparent or being where I am in my life, and I'm afraid of it, so I pushed you away.
I think a couple of things were at play here in now that I'm like here and looking back. I think so. One thing about me, because we're talking about when life has you looking for love, I was absolutely. I mean, he wasn't the first guy that I dated. Like I had been in serious relationships and all of that. But I think that what we can sometimes think as women is that we have to do things by a certain age, and if it doesn't happen by that age, then we need to just make things happen. Hence, I'm all on the Facebook group. I'm trying to like orchestrate certain happenings, even though I low key was giving God credit for, oh yeah, he there, so that must be. But at the end of the day, I was trying to control my own destiny, and I was trying to make him see me and ask me out and all of these things. And I think that was probably a reflection of just really wanting to be in control of everything,
Yeah.
number one. But also, I feel like I was just like, there was this pressure of falling in love and having kids. And I mean, I was like, I don't even know how old I was, 24,
Yeah.
25,
When this was happening,
20.
it was
Nah,
20. Okay,
I don't know. I was,
26. It was around 26, 25,
yeah.
26.
How old am I now?
You are
Yeah.
38.
So, yeah. But it just I felt like I was behind. I felt like I had to achieve something. And I think that I don't know if this happens in other circles, but I think for sure in Christian circles we can get so caught up on like this cookie cutter way of getting into relationships, and marriage is like a prize. And looking back, like, I'm really glad that we got together when we did, because it gave me time to figure out myself. It gave me time to get in a relationship, another relationship that helped me to value myself more and know what I really wanted. So I'm a pause there, because I think that what you're sort of seeing unfold in the early stages of our relationship were insecurities that both of us had. He had insecurities that he was living with his mom, and had encountered someone who was doing well for herself. And then for me, I was afraid that I wasn't going to get married at all. And so, like, after I was about to say a series of failed relationships, it wasn't like I was in a whole lot of relationships prior to him. But one mistake that I always made was that, like, in every relationship that I went into, I was like, this is my husband. And so I had the expectation that this is my husband. And I think that single ladies, we can have, especially as you increase in age, you can have that expectation, and it puts a lot of pressure on a relationship, to where you forget to be friends. And I think that what ended up happening with us, because of the insecurities that we brought into our relationship, neither one of us took like a jump to let the other know that we were interested.
Yeah.
Like, we were friends for what, like a year and a half, just hanging out. I mean, he always paid until one time he didn't. And that was the time I was like, oh, okay, he don't like me. He was like, can we go Dutch? It was breakfast. Where were we? Was that
Not
Pancake
Le Peep.
House?
It wasn't Le Peep. It wasn't Pancake House. It was something. It was over there at Carmel Commons.
Yeah, yes. I remember it was raining that day and everything. I was like, oh yeah, this is the last time. I'm cool.
Yeah,
cool.
she hit me with I think I tried to text her one day and I was like, what's up, big head? And she hit me with something else. Like I decided to focus my energy somewhere else. It was something very.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was the most corporate way of saying I have moved on from you. And we'd hung out. I might still have that joint. It might be no, it's not gonna be
probably.
It's not group me. It's not group me.
Our group me. What's the last mention on our group me?
It was a conversation about how I believed that I was not meant to be married.
Yeah.
I sincerely told my wife that I was not meant to be married.
We weren't dating at the time. We were just friends.
And she tried to talk me through it, but she was like, cool.
He hit me with the question of, do you think that God intends for everybody to get married?
Yeah.
And I said that I don't believe that anyone with the desire, that God would intentionally keep anyone with the desire to get married from finding a mate.
Yeah, and I think what was crazy about that is that I've always had a desire of being married. I don't know what I was going through at the time for me to have that conversation with you. And I think I was just down in the dumps and life wasn't where I wanted it to be at the time that I was. And I was like, I'm behind and maybe I'm supposed to be here. And I think that was the most I was always kind of open and transparent with you to an extent, but that was the most open moment because I cared about you. You weren't like my best friend. Clearly I had some interest in you. And for me to have the conversation about I'm down and out and, this is just who I am was probably it was a pretty pivotal moment in my transparency to you.
Yeah.
Which I'm now realizing. Like I told you, I like her, but I don't think I am meant for you. I don't think we are aligned. And I felt like that when I was scared to tell you I was at the crib.
Yeah, true.
But God.
After that conversation,
I was left out of this part of it. Yeah.
After that conversation, and then you also asking at the table during breakfast if we could go Dutch. I was like,
I thought I said that prior too.
You probably did.
Yeah, but then I know. Yeah, that was the. It was like that was the nail in the coffin for you.
And I was like, oh yeah, he doesn't like me.
Yeah.
He has not. We had never held hands. We had never kissed. There was no we were really just hanging out as friends. But now I see the value in that because we really got to know each other. I had him take me to Shima for his birthday because he told me that's what he wanted to do. But it's neither.
Listen to what she said.
He told me that I asked him what he wanted for his birthday,
and I said I wanted to go to Shima. Shima is a Brazilian restaurant downtown.
And you said no. The first thing you said was I want to spend the day with you. Mm-hmm. He hit me with one of those lines. I was like, oh, this is real cute. He trying to. Maybe this is the moment where he's gonna say I like you.
Okay, y'all listening? Continue.
And then I can't remember who asked where you want to go.
Yeah,
I think I suggested
we landed on okay.
Whatever. It was a great night.
Great night.
He was
ate good on my birthday.
Stressed.
Sitting there on my birthday, she brought that check.
I don't know who you thought.
And put it in front of me.
You said you wanted to take me out.
And Cicely Gosier said, so tell me more about you. I'm like, oh, that check was a good $98 or something off of that good Odyssey check that I had. But it was good. I was able to pay for it. But I think I was thrown for a second. I was like, oh, I got to act like that joint ain't affect me.
I didn't know. I didn't know.
But yeah, this is a proverbial montage. We kind of skipped over. This is when we rekindled, right? Were we back?
No, we were still friends.
So that Chima was after we stopped talking? Okay.
After we stopped talking, I started dating someone else.
Yeah. I unfollowed her on social media because I saw she was on there with, I almost said the M word, but I didn't want to see her with that dude and I unfollowed her.
Then he realized that he liked me. Yeah. So sometimes, ladies, you watching, you just give them a little inspiration.
They know that already.
Make them think that you're moving on.
They know the game.
With your life.
And
And
that wasn't what her intentions are. But let's be clear. She was genuinely
I was genuinely
outwardly
into,
expressing her relationship, and I was
yeah.
just not in a place where I could accept
But
that.
here's the thing. I don't know if I ever told you this. I used to do an ugly sweater party, like an annual.
You did tell me
Should
this.
we should get back to that. But the guy that I was dating at that time,
Same dude.
yeah, it's the same guy. It's the same guy. And so like I'm making an invite list, and I wanted to invite him because I just really wanted you to be there. And I was like, you know what? That was the first time I was like, ooh, I might still like this guy. Because I wanted you to be there, but I didn't feel right inviting you
Yeah.
because I was dating someone and it felt like I would be like in the room with my crush.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Appreciate that.
well, here we are.
Yeah. So
married,
fast forward, not Andy Mineo concert.
Triply.
Triply concert. She
Is
invited
it
me.
Elevation?
She invited me. She
I am
said
now
that.
single.
Yeah. She had tickets.
Whoa! I had tickets. This is not
Her friend bailed, and
Real,
so she was like, "Well, you want to go?"
no. It was a real situation.
Okay, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry. It was
Don't
a risky.
be air quoting
She had
me.
Triply tickets. She invited me. I said yes. I was like, yes. Met her there.
And we
Went out to eat afterwards, I think.
I can't remember. I don't remember, and then we got married. So that's what it feels like.
Yeah. Now, let's fast forward a little bit. When we rekindled the unorthodox but authentic way that we developed our relationship. We were talking about children and marriage before we made ourselves official, I believe.
Probably.
I'm pretty sure
Well,
we were talking about children
yeah.
and all the other stuff.
But that's the
before
thing
we-
though. Like I think that because we had built like a year and a half of friendship and
Yeah.
rapport with each other, it felt natural to talk about those things.
Yeah.
And honestly, I really could, even before we were
It
together,
was
see
something
myself
else.
with you
What
long
was
term.
it? Or was it like we were talking about that stuff before we started talking about engagement? It was something that kind of felt like it was out of the regular
We
order
definitely
of-
started talking about kids, marriage.
Yeah.
You knew what kind of ring I wanted well before we were even like,
Yeah.
headed in that
Proposal. Yeah, it was we were, I think, because we were creatives and because now, mind you, Cicely, we spent a lot of time with each other. We kissed eventually, but it was such the way we developed our relationship and the way I started falling in love with. I had been in love with before, at least I would like to think that I did, but it was something different. I told everybody it was something different about Cicely. The way I spent time with her without the true. Now I had my own things that I was going through, but with her, I really loved being around her, and I never let my physical desires interfere with that. Like I was okay with never having sex before getting married to her. As a matter of fact, it was a point where I was like, this is going too good. I felt like sex would ruin it. And I was genuinely like, yeah, I can spend all day with her, leave 9:30 at night, stay with my mom sometimes, and then do the same thing the next day.
So just for people who don't personally know us, that was a decision that we made that we would not have sex until after we were married.
Yeah,
Or-
nothing around it. We kissed. I might have grabbed her butt a couple times.
No, you never
But
grabbed my
I
butt.
touched her butt at least twice before you had to tell me I had to stop doing it.
I don't recall. I don't
I
remember
grabbed your butt a few times. Anyway, when we traveled together, when I visited her families, we never stayed in the same room.
Yeah.
Like I was okay with this. Prior Darius was like, this is, I was definitely in the try the milk mentality.
Yeah.
In my previous relationships, but with my now wife, I was like, nah.
And this was like I mean, a lot of times, you say you're not gonna have sex till marriage, but you like other things are in the realm. Like we never tongue kiss, never other things.
She had to keep me at bay. I was and still am a very physical touch type of person.
Yeah.
So I loved kissing her. I loved kissing her neck, and she had to.
Oh
quell
yeah,
that.
nah, you weren't.
She-
you don't
she
need
had
to,
a-
why do you need to kiss my? You don't need to kiss my neck.
Well, I know now why.
Don't even be okay.
Yeah,
all
I'm
right.
well aware of
Two
the
boys
benefits of.
I don't need you near my neck during
Yeah.
this date. Like don't no. Don't even breathe.
I totally
over
get
in
it
here.
now.
You need to be
Yeah.
6 feet.
But yeah, so
Breathe over there.
she was good at holding me accountable in those areas. But yeah, it was, and I was telling my cousin, I was everybody close to me. I was like, bro, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, I'm like, I am about to buy this ring, and
Yeah.
I'm not nervous about it. Like this, she's the one, and I think that's how it is for people. Some people it's undescribable.
Yeah. How do you know?
It till this day, I can't like. This was the most genuine attraction to you outside of it. Like I was physically attracted to you, clearly,
Of course.
but it was for the first time. It was more than physical attraction,
Okay.
and you know, I don't know what that speaks to in my prior relationships or just my mentality, but our attraction to how we gelled personality wise, where we saw ourselves aligned, Christ and all of that was so much bigger than the sex part. To the point where I was like, you know, that'll just be the bonus to our relationship is that we would then after that be able to have sex
Yeah.
and have great sex.
So.
But
Okay. No. Keep going. I don't want to cut you off.
But it was like I really looked forward to spending time with you all the time, and I knew that it was something that would culminate greater when we were together, and we even talked about how great we would be together, and not just being in a relationship, but the things we could do together.
Yeah. This gonna be a longer episode. I feel we might make this 2 parts, but I think that, and I say that because like we could go on and on about our story because there are so many things that now 8 years in we can look back and see how God was moving through all of it and how the mistakes that we made through certain stages of our relationship and stages of our marriage and things of that sort. I think that the way that I knew that you were the one was that I could totally be myself with you.
Yes.
And I don't know if I didn't realize that until I was myself with you, that I wasn't myself with other men that I had dated. And like he had seen 100% Cicely, and everybody doesn't get to see, okay, all right. Everybody doesn't get to see like all the nuances of my personality.
Yeah.
How I can be silly and I can be goofy and I can be serious and I can be spiritual and I can be a whole lot of things. And he's someone who I felt like I could, just totally be myself. And that's how I knew I can be, if I'm this comfortable with this guy, that this is somebody that I can be with for the rest of my life.
And in response to that, it was such a form of affirmation to know I got a side of you that no one else got.
Yeah,
to this day, I think, you know, I love your mom. I love you all's relationship with your mother, but I still get a side of you that your mother don't see. Your hitters, like I know that you will travel with them to you guys can't travel anymore. I still know that I get a side of you. It's almost like it's not sacred, but I know that you relent that side of you with only me.
Yeah.
To the point where, you know, I get to brag about it to other people. Like, well, you know, she's like that with y'all, but I know when no one's there, I am not the most goofy person. I'm not the goofiest person in my house.
What?
Or I know 100%. I am not
I'm
the goofiest
goofier
person.
than you?
You match or compete with my goofy.
I don't know.
And you know that
Debatable.
for a fact. Anyway, to know that I was able to achieve that side, because my wife, a lot of people, you know, there's been constant.
People think I'm mean. People think I don't like them. I mean, I can say it for you. I already know. I already know.
I won't say people initially think that you're mean.
I cannot help.
You have a stoic approach.
My face.
You have a very not cold way of responding, but you can be very stoic. Is also you can be short and to the point about.
Here's the thing.
But initially, at some point, those same people will realize how much you care about them, and in return, they love you.
Yeah.
You have an attraction that may initially there's some hesitancy about whether or not you even want to be in their presence.
All right. So you're right. You're absolutely right. Okay. So here's the thing, right? I have a lot of things internally, like my internal emotions will be off the chart.
100%.
So like right now, as I'm talking, I think that I'm smiling while I'm talking. See? And I'm not. I know I'm not. I know when I watch this back, and I'm like, dang, like they gonna think I don't like you. They don't think I don't want to do this.
Story of my life.
But I really and then when I do things over the top, I feel like I'm not being myself.
That's because it's not you.
I know. And so I just,
But you
just
are.
know that if you encounter me and I don't like you, I will just tell you. So if I haven't told you that I don't like you, I like you.
There
Be
has
cool.
been instances where people have said,
Actually, I've never met a person. Well, there's only one person that in my entire life that I've genuinely like, I don't like you. I never said it to him. I just didn't hang around him.
"No, you don't have that kind of heart."
But I get along with, I don't have any enemies. Like, I've never been in a fight in my life. Please don't.
She's never been punched, y'all.
I've
And I
never
hope it
been punched. I don't know if
hope
I
it
can
never
fight.
happens.
I can pretend like I
You can't
can.
fight.
Though.
If you've never fought, you
I
can't
feel
fight.
like people think I'm tough, though. Y'all tell me.
It's
like,
working for you.
People think I'm tough.
I don't think you should have told the nations that
I mean,
you can't fight.
here, pull up on me.
No, don't do
See?
that. Because now I gotta fight them. And
You-
your kids.
You're
have
not a
fought
fighter
them.
either.
I have fought.
I have fought.
I watch wrestling.
I feel like
I couldn't even take myself seriously.
I feel like I could.
I can definitely.
I feel like I could probably. I done had 2 kids.
Yeah,
got
I know that you can
superhuman
endure.
strength.
You definitely can endure.
All right.
But
Anyway, okay. So we
derail.
Yeah, we gotta give the people something though. We gotta give the people something. So when life has you looking for love,
Yeah.
what would married Darius say to single Darius? Like, what would be your
Just
advice?
I think, take the opportunity to be 100% open with your spouse. Good, bad,
Well, like,
ugly.
okay.
Like, they need to see your entire, like, just everything on the table. And, of course, that comes from our first year.
That's a whole nother episode.
Yeah, that's
We'll do
but
that. Later, yeah.
naturally, just I think another level of letting your spouse in is just letting them know, here's who I am. If this is where I gotta work, help me work through this. But I want
Yeah.
you to know this is who you are to be with. Do you want this challenge?
Yeah.
You're good.
Oh, I didn't know she was
No,
gonna push
you're
me.
good. You're fine.
Okay.
It's so raw, guys.
I mean,
You get to be a part of the early stages
oh
of
my goodness.
life with the Corrys.
We got
podcast.
edits. You
What
can't-
would the married Cicely Monique Corey say to the single Cicely Gosier?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. What I was gonna say though is that, so were you speaking to single people or to married people when you just said that?
What would because you said what would the married person say to single? Now that is for the single people that have aspirations and intentions of getting married.
Okay.
So single who want to be
So
married.
like, be open with the person that you're.
Let them give them everything.
Okay.
Give them open the closet. Let them know all the people that are a current issue or problem in your life. Let them know everything.
Yeah.
If you're always honest, you never have to be afraid of remembering what you told them.
Okay. What would I say to single Cicely? I think it's probably there's at least one woman watching this that has like a list written down of everything that she wants in her spouse. And it's like, like the guy gotta have all these things. So, and I also know that there's probably at least one person that's gonna listen to this podcast earlier in the episode when you were talking about how you didn't pay attention to me the first night we met. You don't really remember the early phases because of that. You were living with your mom. You stood me up first time we was about to, meet up. Even though
Oh,
it
you
was
talking
for
about me?
business.
I
Yeah,
thought
I'm
that was
talking about you.
I thought that was hypothetical.
I'm saying like
That was all my
that was all
resume.
you. Yeah, that was your
Golly.
resume. But I'm saying like people can hear that and be like,
He trash.
he trash. Like I would have moved on a long time ago. And so I think what I would say to single Cicely is to pay attention to the things that actually matter. Because what I realize now that I was doing back then was I saw certain things in you, certain things that I had heard about you, that people had told me about you. Yeah. Like, I mean, I don't know if anybody was trying to play matchmaker, but like
They were.
maybe. But I had heard about you before I initiated that meeting for the logo that I never got. But
Whoa.
okay, the logo that I never used. You're right. You did give it to me. I just didn't use it.
The way that go ahead. Triggered me.
But I think, we can have like these checklists. When I met him, whatever. He had a unibrow. He had a beard that was untamed. And I'm not saying like these are physical things
Jesus.
because we can get caught up on physical things. But he was fine. And I was like, boy, you fine with your burly beard and your unibrow. I really hope that, you know, the unibrow doesn't stick around
Here's the thing.
for our wedding day.
She's unibrow bashing, so y'all get her in the comments.
I mean,
For
you know,
those
you were
people
proud of you embraced
overseas
it.
that
You embraced it wholly. But what I'm saying is that someone can get caught up like, oh, he's short. Oh, he don't like the way he dressed. Or, oh, like
Speak
in
that.
physical things.
Yeah.
And you know, I saw the fine underneath, and I saw the good man underneath the awkwardness of our first encounters together. And I gave grace. And
here we are.
eventually, I moved on because I felt like the grace had ran out at that point. And then at that point, I just really trusted God to be like, all right, if we're supposed to be together, he'll circle back. And he did. So.
And here we are. Life with the Corrys.
Life with the Corrys.
It's a good place that was a great place to land.
Yeah.
Thank you all for being here with us. If you like these conversations, if you like it, like it. If you don't, tell us why. Give us things to talk about. You know, interact with your people. We always are open to topics. Like us, subscribe, connect with us on Instagram. We got our own website. Sorry, baby. But yeah, we love you all. Thank you all for being here. And we see y'all next time. Peace.